So good morning, everyone. We are very excited to be here today to present to you the success story behind what Patrick Cooper has established, and that's the Fifth Town Artisan Cheese Company. My name is Lindsay, and I'd just like to take this opportunity right now to introduce you to my colleagues. We have Justine, Mengfi, Ryan, and Amanda. Excuse turning around. Now, just to give you a brief overview as to where we're going with our presentation today, I'm going to start off by giving you just a brief kind of Canadian industry, a cheese industry breakdown. I'm then going to pass it off to Justine, who's going to delve into the Fifth Town company and its value chain. Amanda and Ryan are then going to go on to discuss the 3 key success factors that we have indicated are critical for Fifth Town to maintain its competitive advantage. And then Mengfi is going to close off with some future growth trends and key takeaways. So without further ado, the Canadian cheese industry has attained world-class status simply by establishing a presence both domestically and internationally. The business is concentrated predominantly in Ontario and Quebec in 2 main product categories, the first being the industrial cheese category and the second being the artisan specialty cheese category. Now, within these 2 product categories, there are fundamental differences, but what we really want to draw your attention to today is the differences in the growth rates. The industrial cheese category is growing stagnantly, 1 to 3% per year, and this is very different than the artisan specialty cheese category, which is booming. They're growing at the category is growing at 20% per year, and this just goes to show how much potential this market truly does have. Delving into the artisan specialty cheese category specifically, we've identified 2 main competitors, the direct competitors and indirect competitors. The direct competitors are these 200 independent cheese producers across Canada, 56% of which are located in Quebec. And it's important to note that there really is limited US competition due to the Canadian government regulations that restrict the dairy imports from coming into Canada. The other side of the spectrum is the indirect competitors, which we have identified as the market fluctuations and the dairy environment, both of which will impact the way that these cheese producers do business. I'm now going to pass it off to Justine, who's going to talk about the company background.
Thank you, Lindsay. Okay, so Fifth Town Artisan Cheese Company is an environmentally and socially responsible rural business located in Prince Edward County. Fifth Town is positioned as a niche producer of quality handmade cheeses. They use local produced goat and sheep milk. And since its opening just over 9 months ago, Fifth Town has already become an established player in the market. So, in order to understand how Fifth Town has achieved their success thus far and how they plan on sustaining it, we're going to take a look at their value chain. Prior to that, let's just look over some brief sales forecast numbers. So their operating break even is $1.2 million, and in their first year, they're forecasting $1 million, meaning that they will break even within about 14 months. Their year 2 and 3 forecasts are set at $1.5 million each year, and the retail sales on site are biggest in July and August, with also a large focus in December. Okay, on to the value chain. So, to begin with, for their inbound logistics, Fifth Town uses locally produced goat and sheep milk. This allows them to really control their inputs to ensure that they are of the highest quality. Furthermore, it also reduces transportation costs. In terms of their actual operations, Fifth Town is committed to integrating traditional cheese techniques with green initiatives. Their on-site location is held to the highest environmental and sanitary standards. They even opted to pay a premium for all their equipment to ensure that these standards were met. Furthermore, in regards to their outbound logistics, the actual cheese that they produce, it is a high-quality organic cheese, and they separate it into 2 different lines, their fresh cheeses as well as their hard cheese line. Also, in terms of their marketing and services, Fifth Town has also done a really great job with co-marketing with wineries, cultural trade shows, and things of that like. And they also encourage customers, retailers, and the media to visit their on-site locations so they can really see the cheese making and see the quality built in. Fifth Town distributes through their on-site retail site, but they also distribute through their partners, including hotel chains as well as high-end grocery stores. So now I'm going to pass it over to Ryan and Amanda, who will really zero in on some key success factors.
So while conducting our analysis of Fifth Town, There we go. While conducting our analysis at Fifth Town, we sort of came up with 3 major themes that we felt led to the success of the business. And those were high quality, sustainable initiatives, and strategic partnerships. I'm going to begin by talking about high quality, and then I'll pass it off to Ryan for the latter 2. So in terms of quality, we really felt that Fifth Town had quality embedded through all aspects of its business model. The product, the people, the process, as well as their plant. The product, Artisan products by nature, are handcrafted in high quality, but more specific to Fifth Town is the unique taste of the Prince Edward County that is in their cheeses, because they do in fact source all of their raw milk materials locally. With the growing popularity of the slow food movement, Fifth Town's really found an area of opportunity within the market, and it also has helped to justify the premium pricing strategy that their high quality products have. In terms of the people, going and visiting Fifth Town, it didn't take long to realize that the management team and the people at Fifth Town were really an aspect of quality throughout their business. There's 7 people in their operation, or there were in December, and 3 of them were certified cheesemakers. And because of the complexity of their business model, they were committed to 0% turnover, which meant that all of their employees were trained, engaged, and internally promoted. So you really saw the passion for cheese in everybody who worked there. Specific to the management team, they represented some really diverse and interesting backgrounds. Petra Cooper, the founder, comes from a publishing background, and Andrew Laliberte, in charge of sales and marketing, came from a hotel management background. And we really saw them using these to sort of push additional channels and additional strategies through their business, book sales in the retail outlet, as well as hotel partnerships for sales and distribution. With regard to the cheese making process, quality was also evident here. Despite actually producing cheese, Fifth Town adheres to raw milk production regulations, which are more stringent, and so quality was evident there. They invested the time and the resources to keeping the facility at the most high level of cleanliness and safety. And lastly, with regard to their plant, their equipment and their plant were both state-of-the-art. 2 particular highlights that I'd like to mention are their seamless indoor facility, and so this was their sort of where the cheese was actually being made, and it was created to be seamless in order to prevent the growth of mold and bacteria, again living up to those safety and cleanliness standards. And then lastly, they created a man-made aging cave so that their cheese was going to be able to be aged in a natural aging environment, keeping a constant level of humidity. I'm now going to pass it off to Ryan, who will discuss our final 2 success factors.
A lot of businesses today talk about being sustainable, but only certain businesses are actually able to commit to sustainability. And I'm going to start with a quote by Paul Hawkins from the Ecology of Commerce. Sustainability is an economic state where the demands placed upon the environment by people and commerce can be met without reducing the capacity of the environment to provide for future generations. Fifth Town was able to commit to this by both their management commitment and by being able to incorporate sustainability into all facets of their business. Looking at the construction of the facility, Fifth Town used 80% of their materials from recycled materials, such as wood byproducts and using Duracell block instead of traditional concrete. Excuse me. Fifth Town also has 40 miles of geothermal piping, which is below the permafrost, and this helps to heat the facilities in the winter and to cool the facilities in the summer. And as Amanda spoke about the natural aging cave, this helps to regulate the moisture and the temperature in this facility, which saves a lot of energy versus traditional aging facilities. Fifth Town also has 3 underground biodigestion facilities, which is located beneath behind the facility. And traditionally in cheese, the waste byproducts are disposed of, and there's no regulation of how this is. Well, there's regulation, but there's no extra steps that producers have to take. But Fifth Town decided to take an additional step and to install these facilities so that the waste can be disposed of, and as it ages, it breaks down into harmless biomass. Fifth Town's energy needs are also provided by an on-site windmill, solar panels located on top of the facilities, and by being a member of the Bullfrog Network, which involves paying a premium to ensure energy comes from renewable sources such as wind and hydropower. One of the main benefits of this is the LEEDs Platinum certification, which Fifth Town just received confirmation.